They called it masculinity, but it made me cold, angry, addicted to control. I took the red pill, and it poisoned everything. I ghosted people I loved, even my mom, cut off my emotions, wore the mask so long, I forgot who I was. It promised truth. What I got was trauma, wrapped in testosterone. This wasn't strength, it was manipulation, and I didn't see it, until I became the man I once swore I'd never be. Red pill content gets over 1 billion views a year, but how many of those men are actually healed? How many are just hiding better? So let's go there. Let's rip the mask off. Here are 5 lies the red pill sold me, and the truth that finally set me free. Lie 1, never trust a woman. The red pill says, don't trust women. They're emotional, disloyal, always chasing someone better. So what do they teach you? Keep her beneath you. Control the frame. Keep her guessing. Never let her close. Because if you love, you're weak. And maybe that made sense at the time. You were hurt, lied to, replaced. So you built walls and called it wisdom. But let's be real. That's not strength. It's fear in disguise. You're not protecting yourself. You're hiding, worshiping your past pain, calling your trauma masculinity. But here's the truth. Real men don't fear women. They fear God. And that fear, real reverence for him, shapes how we lead. Jesus didn't say control her. He said love her like I love the church. He bled for her, led her, told her the truth, even when it hurt. That's not passive. That's not weak. That's war. And here's where red pill teaching collapses. You don't need to trust blindly, and you don't need to hate her either. Here's what God says. Use wisdom. Watch her fruit. Set standards. That's how a real man leads. Not with fear, but with discernment. Jesus said, you'll know them by their fruit, not by their body, not by their charm, not by how they make you feel. So slow down. Pay attention. Ask yourself, does her life produce peace or chaos? Respect or manipulation? Humility or pride? That's the test. That's how you lead with clarity, without getting played. Because this is spiritual leadership. Not guessing, not fearing, just walking in truth, with your eyes wide open. You want a godly woman? Then lead like a godly man, with strength, not suspicion. Because the red pill won't heal you. It just teaches you how to fake it. But Jesus, he doesn't hide your wounds. He heals them and turns broken boys into battle-tested men. Lie 2, be high value, dominate the game. The red pill says, be high value, stack cash, get jacked, build status, dominate the game, be the prize. Let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with rising. God created you for dominion. He told man, be fruitful, multiply, rule. But red pill flipped that calling. It made it all about you. Your power, your image, your ego. It teaches you to rise without righteousness, to lead without love, to dominate without direction. And that's not leadership. That's pride in a nice suit. Here's the truth. God doesn't call you to impress the world. He calls you to reflect him. Jesus had all authority. He could have crushed nations with a word, but he served. He wept. He bled for people who hated him. That's not weakness. That's strength under control. But the red pill won't tell you that. It gives you an identity built on paranoia and performance. Always grinding, always proving, always afraid of being less. But God already gave you your identity. Son, leader, warrior, image bearer of the king. You don't need to chase status. You need to walk in sonship. Because what good is it for a man to gain the whole world, but lose his soul? You weren't created to just win. You were created to rule with purpose. So build the business, train your body, level up, but don't do it for applause. Do it for impact, for legacy, for glory. That points back to God. Because when you know who you belong to, you stop flexing and start leading. You're still here. That's not random. You notice something, the patterns, the lies, the poison. If this is hitting deeper than you expected, good. So if you want more of this, real truth, no filter, no fluff, Like the video, subscribe, and drop a comment. Lie 3. Focus on money, muscle, and women. The red pill gospel is simple. Get the bag, get the body, get the girl. That's it. If you've got cash, muscle, and options, you've made it. That's the lie. Because here's what they don't tell you. You can have it all and still wake up empty. Money won't fix your soul. Lust won't give you peace. And status won't save you when you're alone in the dark. You were made for more than likes and hookups. More than flexing for strangers. More than grinding for a grave. Here's the truth. God didn't make you to impress. He made you to impact. And the strongest men in history weren't chasing pleasure. They were chasing purpose. Noah built when the world mocked him. David ruled but bowed to God. Paul bled to spread truth. And Jesus, he died and he rose again to give us eternal life. Their lives weren't bound to this world. They were bound to eternity. And if your life is only invested in what fades, it ends where it started, in the dirt. But if your life is laid down for the kingdom, you don't just survive death, you conquer it. This isn't a cute quote. This is the word of the Creator. He said, "What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?" So ask yourself, when your money runs out, when your strength fades, when the game is over, what's left of you? If it's all built on the world, then it dies with the world. But if it's built on Christ, it lives forever. You weren't made to chase women. You were made to lead generations, to plant seeds in eternity, to walk in purpose, not popularity. So stop selling your soul for scraps. The King is calling. Answer like a man. Lie 4. Women are the enemy. The red pill wants you to believe women are the enemy. Manipulative, disloyal, shallow, dangerous. So what do they teach you? Guard up. Game her. Never let her get close. Control her before she controls you. But let's cut the noise. Women aren't the enemy. Sin is. It wasn't feminine nature that wrecked your life. It was lust, pride, ego, bitterness. The stuff no one wants to admit. And if you're still blaming women for your wounds, you haven't healed. You've just learned how to hide. Because here's the hard truth. Some of the pain you blame on her was caused by your own disobedience. You ignored the red flags, chased pleasure over purpose, put looks over fruit, lust over wisdom. She didn't break you. You chose wrong. And now you're mad at the mirror. That's not masculinity. That's immaturity, dressed as red pill wisdom. The red pill tells men to point fingers. The gospel tells men to own their sin. And until you stop blaming and start repenting, you'll stay stuck in a loop. New faces, same cycle. But now you know. Now the truth is in front of you. And that means one thing, accountability. You're responsible now to stop the blame, to lead different, to heal what you've ignored, and to stop keeping this truth to yourself. Because the enemy wins when you stay quiet. But he loses when men rise up, not bitter but bold, not controlling but Christ-led, not blaming but rebuilding. The war was never about women. It was about your soul. And now, you fight back. Lie 5. Emotions are weakness. Never show them. Truth. Emotions are from God, but sin is still the enemy. The red pill says emotions are weakness. Crying makes you soft. Feeling makes you vulnerable. And vulnerability, that's a liability. So what do men do? We shut down, bury it, pretend nothing gets to us. Smile, flex, go numb. But here's the hard truth. Emotion isn't weakness. Emotion is human. You weren't built to be a robot. You were made in the image of a God who feels, who loves, grieves, rejoices, gets angry. Emotion isn't a flaw. It's a fingerprint of the Creator. But here's the line. Emotion is a good servant, but a terrible master. It's meant to guide you, not control you, to move your heart, not drive your decisions. Because emotion didn't wreck your life. Sin did. Lust, pride, addiction, rebellion. That's the enemy. Not the tears, not the ache, not the moments when you feel deeply. Jesus wept. David poured his soul out in songs. Jeremiah was called the weeping prophet. Paul said he despaired of life itself. But guess what? None of them stayed down. They felt deeply and kept moving. They didn't fake strength. They brought their pain to God, and he turned it into power. That's what men of God do. So no, you don't need to hide your emotions. You need to bring them to the altar and let God reshape them. Because real strength isn't found in shutting down. It's found in surrender, in trusting God with the full weight of your heart, then rising back up, ready for war. This world doesn't need more numb men. It needs healed men, honest men, men who feel, but don't fold. So don't fear emotion, fear the sin that hijacks it. Then take it back and walk like a man who belongs to the King. Now you've heard the truth, the lies, the enemy's deception, the weight of sin, the manipulation that's kept men bound for generations. But most importantly, you've heard the truth that breaks chains. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a brother. Men need to rise together. And if you need to hear it again, replay the video. Let it sink deeper. If you're struggling, drop it in the comments. I will personally read and reply. You're not alone in this fight. And if this hit you hard, like, subscribe to the channel. We're just getting started.